Okay then, I think this is my third attempt at trying to put a little video up just to try and demonstrate what the battle group kind of thing is all about. So, this being a template and my kind of like testing ground, I have a number of different ways and means to get AI to the battle space to carry it on so I can test. But the main one on this is our deployable battle group, uh, and then we have our recruitment of AI through platoon, like platoon level, down to individual recruits and building your own squads and getting vehicles or crewed vehicles from containers. So there's kind of a couple of different factors going on there. But the one we're going to look at now, or mainly, is the deployable units. So I'm just going to fire up TC because inevitably I'll use it. And I'm going to switch to deployed platoons. The menus will be a bit messy in this because certain aspects I'll be taking out, like the reinforcements by air, land and sea. They'll be taken out and put into a class name that is appropriate for that part of the battle group. So if you're running armoured, then yeah, you'll have access to like repair vehicles and that kind of stuff to get call in as a reinforcement. Maybe even some air assets. Or if you're airborne, you're not going to have like repair vehicles and that kind of thing. So that'll be class orientated, and when you actually click that, it'll only give a menu to that commander. I've got that running in another version, in my 80s version, so I can kind of demonstrate that in the future. So let's take a look at our switch. So we've got commander slots. At the minute there's 12 commander slots, which are just initial drop-ins, allow you to use the spawned units, or because we've got two different types of platoons on the spawn side. We've got the one where the current player I'm in now, will spawn or move, be kitted out and everything, and move to where that group is. You can also recruit additionals into his group, so you could get another player or another, so AT or some mortars, and then you could deploy that group anywhere on the battlefield, kind of thing. Once it's deployed, it's deployed. The other aspect is you could just deploy a group, and it'll come into your high command taskbar, and then you can switch to it and control it in that way. So that's them. But let's look at the. So we've got A company, we've got the tank platoon, we've got the recce platoon, we've got an artillery battery, which basically switches to a CPO or the command post officer, and then he can deploy the artillery. If you only want player-led artillery, if you want inaccuracy by grid references, then that's a must. The CTRG 30 is a non-badged group, so it's kind of it can be whatever faction you want it to be, and we've got the airborne company. Basically what it says on the tin, I think we'll start with the airborne because there's only got 3 per platoon, so we'll go to first platoon, headquarters, the commander. So notice on that switch menu, all of them are basically selectable, like every member of first squad. So if you just had 8 players, you could fill that with 8 players, but not right now. What we need to do is we need to go through, let's say we're staging or we're setup. This is for the platoon commander only to take on. So I've got these guys here now. What I need to do is split them, and I need to regroup and split each of these units. What I'm doing is on multiplayer, I'm gathering these, or I'm taking ownership of these. And this is where one of the biggest faults for multiplayer comes in on the high command, is you'll get units given to you by Zeus or whatever, but you'll not have that total control over them. So what we find now is we have them. If we're in multiplayer and I didn't do that, and then I deployed, there'd just probably be me sitting in a helicopter on my own or wherever. So they wouldn't go anywhere. So we need to take ownership. They're now mine. What we'll do is we'll get Delta, and that's basically how it started. Okay, so let's go to deploy the platoon. Normally I would just click here and then fly from there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I'm going to click, let's just see on the runway there. So staging. If each player was to, either take a platoon or be into a platoon, it's at this point now that you could say, right, join one para, first platoon, one squad. Yeah, join one para, one squad as the leader, or join me as my medic, or whatever. Right, so you get the gist there. So we've got the VTOL, we've got the thing. Now, I am currently still working this. Because these aren't the best vehicles to parapet on. That's what I was looking for. Kind of forgot I had them on. So, auxiliary plugs in. We've got a full platoon of, I think it's around 29 men, including myself. And it's what will fit in this aircraft, basically. So by default, these have a very low altitude. And on this terrain, it's even worse if we get up by the hills. So we're gonna drop out here, I think, just so I can demonstrate. Para drop. We'll just use the vanilla. We've got ourselves a platoon. Over where our target is. Right, we've got, the choices are with this kind of setup is we could just, I can put an R&R kind of location on there, no fly zone, and we could just send that off, and it can eventually just be taken away from the game, or we can just use TC and we'll delete, totally remove from the game. And then that's cleaned up and that's gone. So here we have our deployed units. Right, so that was the airborne. That was the dog. But let's switch out now to we'll do the first platoon armoured infantry. Again, set up, and to be fair, you're not going to use the airborne, the armoured, then something else and something else. You'd kind of be in your plan. Um, I'll just give you some idea before we do that. It's going to be kind of an alive scenario that I build all this thought process around. My enemy is, it's all over the place. I don't know where he's going to be, either alive or Hetman. So that I can, you know, I don't always have to push and win. I can just get in, deal some damage, and then get back out again. Uh, on that basis, you don't know where your enemy's going to be. You can go out, push your initial reconnaissance out, see them, locate them, and then decide what in your mission plan you're going to deal them with. Right? Well, let's because of the terrain, it's got to be light infantry. It's got to be, you know, on foot or via trucks, or because we're going to hit them and they've got armoured, we're going to hit them with the APCs. We're going to take in tank support, or we're going to do an airborne assault. Now, the basis of this is AI won't, or yeah, AI won't stay persistent. Not the way I want it to stay persistent within a live mission. So it would just be simply a case of that is stage one done, and then just move your alive boxes, move them back, shift them along, etc. on a bigger map. There is a little scenario within this mission, or within this kind of test environment. Some AEF forces down in the lower right there, and well, basically destroy the enemy. And I see it using different commodities that you've got. You've got armoured. It's not going to put tanks on there because you're not going to get them there. So it's either going to be an airborne deployment, or by sea, or possibly even by helicopters. But I mean, I've tried it myself a few times as part of my testing. So the best I've had is by APC, and I'll demonstrate that now with the Marshal. Oh, trying to close that map. So it looks, actually bring that back, looks quite confusing on what's going on in here, like with all these markers and stuff, but when you get to zoom in, what we see is all the high commands that are already in the game. They're already there, they're already set up. There's one guy that I've called Keystone. Keystone is the high command for all the high commands, and it's simply so when I'm playing, or I'm play testing, and I'm not doing it on a server, I don't get every single unit in my command when I start it up. So that's what a lot of the Keystone things for. Markers for reinforcements and other markers just to see what is what. Oh, it's fairly simple, to be fair. Fairly simple. Not as complicated as it looks. We're looking at the markers. These are our start location markers. Here's my platoon. Let's deploy it. Again, I would have switched, adjusted everything. It's this directional, so depending on which way I was looking at that signboard would be the direction that my platoon would spawn in. And then we have our platoon. Now, notably with this one, I have actually save vehicle it. I've only put the gunners and the commanders in there. That is, if a player was now to switch and get into this squad, then you can take one section, you can pop up and you can control the vehicle, leaving the vehicle in the high command, and then just be dismounted infantry. But yeah, we don't really need to go through that, but just push these up while I can. see 1, 2 and 3. Once you hit the beach you're going to dismount and push up that way. That one on this side. 2, 3. Yeah, they're going to push up. Not the fastest vehicle in the world. Definitely requires some kind of artillery smoke. And AI will be AI. There's just no getting away from that. So if we see 1, 2, 3, and we just give them a dismount order. And there we go. Just, yeah, what we do with them after that is whatever. Once they're deployed, they're deployed. You can't redeploy them. You can't go and, you know, put them back on again kind of thing. They're deployed, they're on the ground, they're the units you've got to work with. It's one of the reasons why I've give more in the aspect. You could have 2 companies of infantry. It really depends on whether or not the machine can handle it these days. To be fair, I've done more, I've been able to put more AI on a map without using a live than what I ever could before. So performance is still really, really good, even when it gets into the big firefights. So where this guy now is in command of this is where the reinforcement part would come in. It'd be a set class. He wants reinforcements. He needs. He's going to be restricted to what he can get. So he's going to get armoured or wheeled reinforcements. Let's say he's going to get wheeled and he needs ammunition or something like that. So we can do that from there. We can get an ammo truck, a repair truck, a fuel truck. We're not going to give him a transport truck, and so on and so on. He's only going to get what restrictions he can, or armoured. He's not going to get all this in for support. Maybe it's the company commander. I'll be able to call them. But you could, if you want to do, additionally add an extra vehicle to your. I think in my 80s one, I deploy with 4 warriors and 2 main battle tanks as part of my platoon. So that main battle tank shouldn't be far away, to be fair. The slammer. Just give him a move to me order. Pull back so he doesn't drive into us. Yeah, the TC reinforcement. That'll be another aspect of what either company commander will be able to place, where a platoon commander possibly won't. I don't know. Just ideas to keep gameplay, to keep it so that, you know, you're not that one-man army. I suppose it's what you get used to. I'm used to using TC and maybe just platoon commander. TC doesn't work the way it should work with Platoon Commander, but it works enough. Must admit, but even for the 2035, I still like the mods with a few little retextures here. Don't like guys standing around, so we'll put them in combat. And there's our slammer, ready for. So we could have 2 of them. In all fairness, that gives me a total of 9 plus, so I could still split and regroup things, switch and swap. So yeah, that's the deployment of that. Tank platoons is going to be the same, we've just done it there, but in this aspect, these are all playable. Remember, split, regroup, split, regroup. And then we've got four slammers to do the bidding. Okay, no, actually, is there more? There's a lot more. That does get the basis of that deployment though. CTRG, we'll have a quick look at you. So CTRG select non-badge, doesn't have the Union Jack or no Union flag or any other badges on. Or shouldn't do anyway. We've got options on this. We can deploy as a heli group, a prowler, or a boat group. I'll just do boat group just as a demonstration. It's only platoon size strength, but the idea is you're going to be working in small teams. Maybe it's taking out a radio tower or something like that. Here's our board group. Right. Oh well, I'll do. Something a little bit different, pre-built in. We're just going to get somebody hitting with a board group here while an airborne element goes in from there. Yeah, kind of get the idea. You can do a lot of things. The easiest one though would be going back to this main slot, is in this platoon deployment side of life. So platoon spawn, we've got airborne later, we've got pretty much the same thing. So let's say, I don't know, I'll go for armoured infantry, first mech platoon. Let's just throw along here. Direction, because I was looking that way. This one will put the player into that vehicle with all the EI with them, into his high command. The benefits of that is certain things like platoon commander, they only work on the original player that you joined in on. So this gives you that bit extra command capabilities by running like that, but it also means you're restricted and you're stuck. So you're going to play for that session, majority of that session, in as that unit. Also means on project injury reaction is what I use all the time for this kind of thing. If you've got to set a player not to die, then the player won't die. If you're in another unit and it's not your original player that you joined, then he'll die the same as the AI. So it is kind of a necessity once you get on the ground to get yourself a CCP, or I don't like saying respawn, but you know, a rally point or a CCP deployed. In which case on this it is the UAV operator, because we don't have radio operators. So you can bash out a CCP for everybody, not just using it in this platoon. So he can whack out the CCP for that. Let's just get yours up there. Yeah, well, actually another little mod that I've only recently found, which I think is this. So this is pretty much what's running during this mission. Don't need the animated grenade throw, to be fair. Not really using it. This one, animations for PIR, no idle, absolute godsend. I didn't want to get back into the to pushing it into Ace yet, because it just adds another complication. But what a godsend that is. I am not kind of dancing, moving around, swinging my arms around while I'm trying to focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, just to finish it off, let's get some fire support from our vehicles on that. Delete. Delete. Alright fellas, don't let us down. People are watching, man. Oh, we've got one Vix the wrong way around by the looks of it. Nah, nobody want to play. I mean, you're looking, you're not shooting fellas, why not? There's friendly units over there, so maybe it's that. Yeah, we'll let it go. Anyway, that is about the bulk of it. I don't really want to get into the logistics side of it yet. There's plenty of it. Probably another 10-20 minute Discord video or whatever. The logistics side is aimed at player-led gameplay. I have logistics if I need it within this environment. So if I need a repair rearm or refuel, I can get that via the trucks. If I just need ammunition, we can have vehicle ammo heli slung in. So we can get that. We can get that brought over and keep the battle rolling. That's if we can, if we own the sky. If we don't, then it'll be trucks. Or Bobcat. Yeah, so that is the kind of crunch of it all. See, I kind of did that deliberately. That is armour. It's a nightmare. So you just got to take your time and plan. Let's grab that before he lands so he can drop it right on us. Kind of flying it with his marker. That'll do. What we'll have is can either keep him on call, which I think we'll do, I'll just demonstrate. We'll keep him on call. We'll get him to land over there. So, yeah, sling load, reinforcements, vehicle supplies, heli transport, squad reinforcements, so if we wanted an infantry squad, an airborne foot squad or a CTRG, again that will be split, you'll only get one per whatever command appointment you've gone into. We told drop air supplies, yeah, it kind of works, does, but yeah. Let's go on to that reinforcements. Sling load, so there's plenty of stuff. Get boat, small boat, yeah. Onto vehicles, etc. That has to be the lot. I'll call that a day. I'll call that a win. Wasn't very many script errors came up there, if any did, and we're not in multiplayer, which is great because in multiplayer you get even less because it doesn't show them. But yeah, all good stuff. Interested in feedback, to be fair. Of course, a lot of this stuff is not tested in multiplayer. When I say not tested, a lot of stuff has been tested over time, but I change stuff all the time, so see where we're getting, see what is, you know, useful. I have long armour breaks, and then I come back, and yeah, I came back just before Christmas. I've just been bashing away at this. Okay, right. Cheers.